Hey everybody, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Do me a favor before we get started, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. So, how is everybody? I hope that you are doing well. So, we're going to talk about what is going on in the housing market and what is getting ready to change as far as the housing market goes. But before we do that, how do people become rich? So most people become rich through real estate. So they could have told us that decades ago, right? Why didn't they tell us that decades ago? Probably because they don't want you to know, right? And then other avenues. There are other avenues to become rich besides real estate. Um, so if you'd like to share, my email is below, and I'm going to bring you on to the show, even though I know that more than likely you don't want to share. And that's the problem, you're not sharing. However, most people become rich through real estate. That's something that they could have told us that decades ago. In fact, I had that question in my head when I was 8 years old. 8 years old. How do you have enough money? And the answer I got was go to school. All right. So it's better late than never. Better late than never. And I don't regret going to school, but it's better late than never. Most people become rich through real estate. And if you became rich a different way, which I'm sure you have, my email is below. I'm going to bring you onto the show and you're going to expose your secrets to the people watching. And you don't need to be concerned because there's not that many people watching anyway. Or if you don't want to tell the people, you can just email me and I'll keep it between me and you. How's that sound? Because I know you're watching. I know you are watching. Why you're watching, I have a pretty good idea. You want to use my words in your advertisements. But I know you're watching. All right, so my email is below. Let's see. Most people become rich through real estate. And of course, this is not the only path. There's many paths to wealth. But this one is the most well known. So when people do things like short-term rentals, they have money coming in every day. When they do the regular kind of investing, comes in on a monthly basis. All right. So let's talk about what happened with real estate, one of the major changes. So when it comes to buying and selling homes, there was a major change, and that was the National Association of Realtors was sued, which I'm sure you are aware of. And the reason being is that sellers, they don't want to pay this commission that they pay, right? They do not want to pay the commission. So when you are with a real estate agent and your real estate agent, you're walking around going to different houses and they're showing you houses, that real estate agent is paid by the seller, not by you. So the seller said, hey, I don't like paying this real estate agent. So a bunch of them got together and they sued National Association of Realtors. And guess what? They won. So now they are not obligated to pay your real estate agent. So the person that's walking around with you, showing you different houses, now they have to introduce this form to you for you to sign, saying that you are willing to pay their commission. And it will say exactly what percentage that is. And then they have you sign that. And so, as far as a real estate agent, how they get paid their commission, Either you as the buyer has to pay it, or they will negotiate with the seller, because some sellers still are paying the commission even though they are not obligated to. However, the real estate agent, what is new is they have this form that you have to sign before they show you the house. And what this form says is that you're going to pay their commission. All right. It's also binding in a way that on this form, it states how long you're going to work with this real estate agent. So before, remember, you could just bounce from agent to agent, and you could have 3 or 4 or 5 agents if you wanted to. So now with this form, it binds you to this one agent, and it has what period of time you're going to work with this agent. So that period of time is negotiable, but it's whatever it says on the form. So you have to read what it says on the form. It could say 90 days. It could say 30 days. So basically, just check out the form and see what it says. And this is what's new in um, real estate. All right. So you're aware that mortgage rates are still high, housing prices are still high, but we're going to talk about what is changing in the housing market. All right. So what's changing is that we're headed into a recession. All right, we're headed into a recession. So a recession is defined as 2/4 of GDP declining. 2/4 of GDP declining. So what happens in a recession? In a recession, there are job losses and foreclosures. So that is where we are heading as far as the housing market is going. All right. So as far as job losses, that's why it's important to have different things in place. For example, an emergency fund. Having an emergency fund in place um, for several months, however many months you think it would take for you to find a job. Having an emergency fund in place. It's important to have a stock portfolio in place. When it comes to stocks, even though it's not advisable at all, if you get to a place where you actually need to take the money out, you can. That's why a stock portfolio is important. Business credit is also another place that you could go in the event of a job loss. So emergency fund is important, stock portfolio is important, and business credit is important for those reasons, right? All right, so this is where we are headed. And then a lot of people are not concerned about job losses. Um, why? Because they know eventually they will get another job. Um, but that is basically where we are headed. And so, one of the reasons why real estate is so important is because what we're headed to now with the recession. This is a repeatable cycle. So when you get into buying real estate and creating your own business or buying your own business, you can get off of this cycle of going to job, losing your job, getting fired. So real estate gets you off of this cycle because this cycle is continuous. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be in your 30s, you could be in your 40s, you could be in your 50s, you could be in your 60s, you could be in your 70s. So it's important to get off of this cycle. Job loss, fired, New cycle. I have a real estate portfolio. I have cash coming in every month. I have a business. See what I'm saying? So building those things are important. Building your real estate portfolio is important. And building your business is important. Either building a business or buying a business. All right. So that's where we're headed. And that is what is coming to the housing market. Aren't you excited? There's still plenty of opportunity out here. And you just have to take the opportunity and build. Build with whatever is handed to you. Build. All right. So do me a favor. If you like the channel, I need for you to hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, I need you to do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you won't miss an episode. Feel free to leave your comments below. And if you are interested in buying property, either now or in the future, check out the link below. Join the waitlist for the real estate group. And if you are a man watching me, check out the hat collection and the pin link below. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.